Gone off that sugar and full of that juice. What are we feeding these youth? Gone off that sugar and full of that juice. What are we teaching these youth? Gone off that sugar and full of that juice. What are we feeding these youth? Gone off that sugar and full of that juice. What are we teaching these youth? The state of the union, the state of the union, playing the seeds to be addictive. Still waters run deep, trace cycles. Layer under layer, refill that. Amplify your voice, please don't you. We won't answer why everybody got cancer, put a stop to tobacco, stop vaping on juice. The FDA proves that only that is true. We won't answer what the process is. The meat ain't right, the water ain't right. California say we try, drop the land. Stop being evil, God will kill that land. Are we really in need or is strength the new need? I'ma tell you like somebody told me. Stay awake to the ways of the world. No green, cause cash don't rule everything around me. Kids need juice like positive juice. Not smoking juice from toxic schools. The fighter real cool who makes these. Recycled hate, generation of rage. Get our minds on the case, break this, so change the stress. The stress already push you. Hot hits, red flavors in and out the coffee shops. House niggas keep leaning out of raw. Going off that sugar and full of that juice.
We about to talk about some things. We're talk about real estate. Instagram, you don't know what we're talking about. We're gonna go deeper on what's going on. I did a post on Facebook about people about the radio interview I had yesterday. You know, people have been asking me about telling me the real estate market about to crash. It's like number one question people ask me: should I sell my property now? Because the real estate market about to crash. Should I sell it? Should I sell it? I'm like, who said that? Who keep telling you this? We got all our community leaders and officials, like my good friend was saying it yesterday during the radio show. And these are people who don't know real estate. And then you got people who are paid off to say that, to convince you to sell your real estate. So I put in my meme. I created a meme. I said something in the neighborhood of telling people the market is about to crash, subliminally telling them to go ahead and sell all their real estate. That's what that means. So give me a minute. I'm loading up some invites here. Okay, that live over there acting up. What up, little bro? What's up, cousin? Sonya, how you doing? Stop in the house. What's up, brother? Angela, how you doing? Y'all see I got my little song. They made a song with my name in it. Ain't that cool? I appreciate it. Hey, I just had a cool smoothie just now, y'all. Let me tell y'all what was in my smoothie. It had some, y'all heard of dragon fruit? Let me push this down some. It had dragon fruit in it. It had the meat out of the coconut. It had the blueberries, strawberries, pineapple, and I used some coconut milk to make it. What's up, good brother Maston? So yeah, I want to talk about this real estate, y'all. We had a nice little. I put some memes on Facebook to kind of like see where people's heads is this rise in Facebook and Instagram. So I want to talk about real estate because a lot of people keep saying a lot of people keep saying the market is about to crash. Look at all this development. Look at all of this happening. This is going on in that state. It's happening in this state. And that's why the market is going to crash. Every 7 years up, and 7 years down, the market crashes, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that was true in the past, but in the future, it ain't so true. Right now, we're gonna talk about it, y'all. We're gonna go in deeper. So hopefully I can stay on focus. So I did a radio interview with a friend of mine yesterday from the Business Zone. I recorded it on my Facebook. And we straight got into a big debate because she kept insisting the real estate market is gonna crash. And when I said no, it's not, she said, yes, it is. You know, and I'm like, you don't know nothing about real estate. Yeah, you own a house, you may own an apartment building, but you ain't an expert. You're not a guru. You didn't travel around the country. You're not following these corporations and these trends. You're not looking at what's really going on. I'm the one that wrote the book. See, I wrote the book to prove to you, to show you, because I knew I can't just come back and tell y'all hey y'all, this is what's going on in the real estate market. And be like, really, TJ? Really? So I had to write a book about it. I had to go around the country and take pictures of it and put it in the book so you can see it with your own eyes. So you'll say, wow. You ever had anybody tell you, I never thought in a million years that that would happen. I never thought that that was even possible. I never thought you'd be able to pull that off. I never thought that that was going to even be possible to do something like that. I never thought that they would get all these black people out of LA. I never thought they would get all the blacks out of the Jordan Down projects. I never thought they'd get all the black people out of the jungles. I don't understand how they did it, but wow, I never seen that coming. These kind of conversations I have all the time. So I knew right then and there. I said, when people started talking like that to me about real estate, I said, when I come back and tell them what I saw, they're gonna immediately discredit me because you got a lot of naysayers, people who don't think certain things are possible. So I said, let me go ahead and travel the country myself, get some proof. Princess Tia in the house, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Let me get some proof and take some pictures of it and put it in my book so that I can show y'all, because there's too many naysayers. Some people do not believe anything unless you show them. Some people are so smart that it makes them stupid. I tell people all the time about things, and if they so smart, they feel like, nope, ain't true. If I haven't seen it with my own eyes, it don't exist. It ain't possible. I got a degree from this particular college, or I'm one of the smartest people, or blah, blah, blah. So what you're talking about, TJ, ain't even true. It ain't possible. Trust me. And I'm like, you don't have no data to support what you just said, but I got plenty of data to support what I said, what I'm saying. I really don't just start talking about stuff unless I got proof of it, unless I know. You know what I'm saying? Unless I know for myself. I don't talk about too many things, y'all. Y'all don't see me sitting on here talking about what happened with the lady who got shot by the police 5 times, because I don't want to talk about it until I know all the facts about it. You know what I'm saying? What was she doing to get shot? Why did he shoot her? What was really going on? Where was they at? Where was they coming from that night? So before I jump in and start talking about a topic, I like to know what really happened, what was going on. Y'all didn't see me jump on and start talking about Nipsey until I made some phone calls. Let me call my people up and see what really happened over there. Okay, you was there, what happened? You see what I'm saying? They called me the moment it happened. TJ, Nip just got shot. You know what I'm saying? So I know how this game works, so I don't really get out there. But I knew when I come back, keep in mind, when I started traveling the country, family, it was purely based on the fact that I speculated that this was what was going on, was happening, because I know the effects of real estate. We have high prices in California, and we have too many people packing their bags, leaving with large amounts of money. I don't know why this particular phone, it still ain't went live yet over here. I guess that's interesting, but no worries. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me move this over here. Y'all do me a favor. Y'all please share this video, because I'm going to go in a little bit. And if I want to continue the conversation, if you're in California, I will be at Juicy Juice today at 4 to 6, doing a book signing and Q&A. Why am I doing the Q&A, or what does the Q&A mean? It's called questions and answers. A lot of people have questions. That's what's going on Facebook right now on that post I posted. People like, TJ, what's going on? Is this possible? Is that really going to happen? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? So this is why I added the Q&A pieces to my book signings, because we got a lot of people who don't necessarily want to talk in public. I mean, who don't necessarily want to get on Facebook and start asking me questions. So I get more inboxes than I do Facebook comments, you know? So that's why I started doing the Q&A. I'm like, I can't sit here all day and answer 160 questions, you know? I want to be able to sit there in person and talk to y'all. So that's why I added that Q&A piece. That's why I do like book signings kind of like every weekend, because it's such a demand. It's such a need. And people tell me all the time, you're the only one who ever said that. You was right. You was right about this. You was right about that. Unfortunately, y'all, when I'm right, that means that somebody's hurting. Somebody's going to take a loss because they didn't believe me. You know, when you got one person saying one thing. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the other side. When you got one person, YouTube, give me a hot second. Let me fix this real quick. Oh, y'all should be able to still see me. When you got one person saying one thing, they usually look like the fool. Nobody, okay, I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. When you have one person saying one thing and you got a million other people saying something different. You got a million people saying the market gonna crash, but you got one person saying the market's not gonna crash. Who do you tend to believe, family? People usually tend to go with the masses. Y'all hear what I just said? People will usually tend to go with the masses. Give me one more second before I get the ball rolling. I got to get this Facebook situation going. My apologies for the last minute notice, family. Okay, that's cool. It's on that page playing. Okay, that's cool. So this Instagram, let's use Facebook. I can shut that down. Let me see if we can do that. Nope, we ain't got time to play with you, player. Cutting you off. So we're gonna talk about some historical situations, y'all. Right now, we at historical mass in real estate going on in California, around the country. We're reaching historical standpoints, you know what I'm saying, to the things that's happening. Gonzalez, how you doing, family? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about this real estate in the way that y'all need to understand it, because we're dealing with unprecedented times. YouTube people, I appreciate y'all. If y'all can please click subscribe and hit that bell, and maybe even share this video to your Facebook page or your LinkedIn pages, Facebook, Instagram. If y'all can do the same, please share these videos. Click like, subscribe, follow. Charles, what's going on, fam? Patrice, how you doing? Robert, how you doing? So, where did you say you were going to be? Oh, I'll be at Juicy Juice raw juice store and bookstore today in Carson, California from 2 to 4. Nope. You know what? I might go up there early, but I won't. My book signing officially starts at 4 to 6. But I think I'm gonna get there early with the amount of people calling and inboxing me questions. What's going on, Patrice? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm gonna get there early, you know what I'm saying, support a friend of mine and go there early and sit in the back, and we can continue the conversation, because there's a lot of people who be asking questions, and it's like, I really could go in on these answers, and it's important to go in on these answers, but it just takes so much time to be sitting there writing so much, you know? But anyway, I'll be there in person so we can sit down and have a Q&A. Everybody just come on in, support the queen, Juicy Juice, buy a smoothie, buy a raw juice, and let's sit down and let's talk. You can ask me all the questions y'all want, buy a book, and let's talk about this stuff, y'all, because these are some life altering situations that people are making. Like another meme I posted today, I said, and these are all things that I've been saying for years, things that I put in my book, things that I've been saying in my Facebook posts, things that I've been talking about. I said that California is not expensive. LA County is expensive because people keep subliminally telling us, oh, California is too expensive. You can't afford to live in California. You can't afford to live in California. But let me tell y'all something. Yes, you can. California is not expensive. LA County is expensive. Or let me even go deeper on that. California is very expensive if you are a renter. You hear what I just said, family? So what am I saying? To be a homeowner in certain cities in California is very affordable. You're not going to be able to afford a home. You're not going to find an affordable home in LA County, but you will find an affordable home in Kern County if you want to buy. Y'all hear what I just said? If you want to buy an affordable home, you will find one in Kern County, Riverside County, San Bernardino County, all of these southern areas, southern of Sacramento, the Southern California area, you will find a whole lot of very affordable cities. Paris, California. Now, here's the thing, because of the gentrification that's going on, historical times is happening. We have an historical moment in history right now. Because of the gentrification, it has pushed the prices of rent sky high. It's pushing the cost of houses up. So what's going on? We got like California City. Stephanie, how you doing? We got like California City in that's almost 2.5 hours away from Los Angeles, California. That's up north past Palmdale, Lancaster, California, another 45 minutes from Palmdale, California. So the rent in California City is still $800 for a 2-bedroom house, 3-bedroom house. You see what I'm saying? Or apartment. It's still expensive. Because why? Because there's more people looking to rent than it is to buy. You got so many people who have been programmed and told, oh, you can't afford to buy a house, so you got to rent something. You can't afford to buy a house because you bought that car recently. You can't afford to buy that house because you was late on one of your credit card payments. You can't afford to buy that house because when you charged that Macy's up, it ran your credit up. That's why I tell people, leave them damn credit cards alone, because a credit card is directly attached to your credit. So when you go in there and spend some money on your card, all of a sudden every month they run your credit and see where you are. And oh, well, she got $1,000 limit, but she charged $300. So that just lowered your credit availability. So your credit score drops because you charge your card. That's why we got to go back to cash. Why do you do in those places? What do you do in those places? Living in those places, buying real estate is a great way to buy wealth. Absolutely. It's a great opportunity to go out there and buy something. So let me kind of go back to that conversation. If you go out to a California city, a Riverside County, a Kern County, a Moreno Valley, a Paris, California, or even outside of Atlanta, the Conyers, or outside of DC and go into Maryland and those kind of areas like that, you're going to find affordable real estate. But here's the problem. You may not want to go out there. But here's the even bigger problem. Too many people have been programmed being told they can't afford to purchase a home. So when they go further out, they never bother to look at trying to buy a house. They go out there purposely thinking, I need to find something affordable to rent. Oh, $1,200 a month apartment. Wow. I mean, a house for $1,500. Yeah, that's a lot more affordable than $4,000 in LA, but I guess I'll take it. They never think, let me check the housing prices. When you was in LA, you couldn't afford to buy a house when it was $350. Now you go out to Kern County, you go out to what is it, California City, which is in Kern County, by the way, y'all. And you'll find out that, oh, wait a minute, they got brand new houses built in 2015 in California City going for $165, $190, $210. So you can afford to buy that. But you didn't realize that because someone told you you don't qualify to purchase a home. So the cheaper the home prices, the guidelines change. When you in LA, they don't want you there, so they don't have any loan products that you can afford. So they'll just straight up tell you you don't qualify to purchase. You hear what I just said? You don't qualify to purchase in LA. So now you got people don't think about the outskirts of California, of LA. They think about, oh, well, my cousin's in Atlanta, my cousin's in South Carolina, my other cousin, my dad is in Texas. So I'm going to just go ahead and move out to those places. But the reality is, if you would have just drove out further, you could have gotten a real good house. Now, people are saying, sister just said, what can I do out there? There's no jobs out there, stuff like that. You're absolutely right. But the cheaper your house is, if you buy a house at $160,000, hypothetically speaking, let's just say 10% of that is $1,600 a month. That's 10%. The mortgage packages they have in these products are saying it'll be 3%. So the interest rate is what, 3 or 4%? So your mortgage on that, on a $160,000 house should be about $1,200, $1,000 or something like that, depending on how much money you put down. So you can afford to buy in the outskirts of California, but you may not be able to afford to rent because rent all over the country is going up. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and looking at $1,200 rent. Why? Because so many people are being pushed out of these areas and they all looking to rent. So because of the people who are trying to rent everything, of course the rental market is going to go crazy. Rental market is sky high. But if you just took the time out and asked another person, how much would it cost if I bought a house? Can I buy? Do I qualify to buy a house? See, y'all, this is why I wrote this book. I put all this stuff in the book for y'all to see this. This is what I've been traveling around the country talking about because I seen this coming. I knew people were not going to understand this real estate market and they're going to get locked out because they listening to people who don't know what the heck they talking about. So I wrote this book to kind of show you some examples and talk about strategies, talk about lying real estate agents, talk about people who just in this game to make money off of it. The only thing I'm in this game for, y'all, is to educate my people and sell some books. Is that okay with y'all? So, but what if you ask that same question to a real estate agent, a loan broker or something, you ask them, what are you in the game for? They in the game to make money. So what are they going to say? Everything in their conversation is going to have to do with you selling your house. You know what I'm saying? They want you to sell your house so that you will let them list the house. You let them list the house, they making money. So of course, real estate agents going to make dumbass conversations. They're going to say stuff like, and I ain't going to talk about all real estate agents. I'm going to talk about the scandalous real estate agent. A scandalous real estate agent who's just out to make money is going to tell you things like, oh, it's always a good time to buy. It's always a good time to sell. You know what I'm saying? They're going to always say dumb stuff like that. But it's not always a good time to buy. It's not a good time to sell. It's definitely not a good time to sell in LA. It's definitely not a good time to sell in Atlanta. It's definitely not a good time to sell in any major city. DC is not in any major city around America. It's definitely not a good time to sell. Why is that? You got people saying, but TJ, I paid $100,000 for my house, and now all of a sudden it's worth 1.2 million. I need to sell before the market crash so I can get all my $1.2 million out the house. I don't want it to crash and then it drops down to 500,000 and then all of a sudden I'll be feeling stupid because I could have walked off with all that extra money. That ain't gonna happen this time, family. Trust me. The past times when all that happened, that was the setup. See, that's why you got to understand this real estate market. This is why I teach real estate, family. This is why I do trainings. I do one-on-one trainings. I sit here in my office. I'll be on my phone doing FaceTime and Skype and Google Hangouts with people all over the world asking me real estate questions, consulting people because there's so much disinformation being spread around the Black community. And then they ask, well, why is Black people selling everything? Because there's so many people disinformationing us. That's why Black people are selling their properties. Man, it was kind of like a lightweight, what my homeboy said. I said it was like a lightweight heated debate yesterday because I said the real estate market not gonna crash. Sister said it is gonna crash. I said no, it's not. She said yes, it is. And I'm sitting there like, you ain't got one proof of support you ain't got no support to support what you're saying. But yet I got plenty of support showing the movement of the corporations. They brought me on that show yesterday, y'all, to specifically talk about SB 50. But I already know SB 50 got killed, so we didn't need to talk about that. You see what I'm saying? What was SB 50? SB 50 is where it was a law, a Senate bill, SB 50, where they were going to pass a law. Matter of fact, there's some meetings going on today, y'all. SB 50 is a Senate bill. SB 50 was a law that they were trying to pass saying they want to get rid of single family homes. They want to tear down single family homes and only build fourplex apartment buildings and up on all the single family home lots. So yes, that's a money-making situation. It's going to rain money when they do that. Excuse me. I hate when my phone says that's something on your nose or something. But anyway, I lost my thought. It's a lot of things happening, family. So I follow all this kind of stuff. I know about these laws. That's why you hear me talking about it first. That's why you hear me talking about these things in my book. So one thing you need to know, let's make it very simple for you. I'm gonna make it very simple for you. If the real estate market was gonna crash in LA, these politicians wouldn't be pushing gentrification so hard. They wouldn't have never came out with tariffs. They wouldn't have came out with opportunity zones. They would have never came out with trying to push this SB 50. All of these are strategic bills that are being passed so that they can dismantle the Black infrastructure of home ownership. Did y'all hear what I just said? All of these things, all of these bills, opportunity zones, tariffs, SB 50, all of these are bills and things happening that are strategic in dismantling Black home ownership. I saw this coming years ago. That's why instead of writing about my life as a lowrider guy, kingpin lowriding, I said, you know what? It's more important that we have a real estate conversation. So I'm going to spend my time and my money trying to educate my people about real estate, even if they don't want to hear it. I'm going to keep talking about it. So when you look at my Facebook lives, you look at my Facebook page, you'll see I go back 4 or 5 years talking about real estate. I've been talking about the same topic ever since. I ain't never swayed. I ain't never changed my story. It's always been the same thing. It's always been gentrification. It's always been this redevelopment. I was teaching land development classes 4 years ago, y'all. I'm the #1 at this. I started this 4 or 5 years ago, family, period, because I knew that this is a bad situation that's going to happen. Homelessness is going to go up. So if you look at me, I even went to Leimert Park and told them I became the president of the vendors. I saved them from being kicked out the park because I knew what was fixing to happen. So I was able to prevent it. That's why I was able to say you can stop gentrification if you got this knowledge that I got. That's why I'm training people, y'all. I know what's going on. Yes, it's always been the same. So it's different though now. It's not the same right now. The only thing that is the same is that white people still fucking with us. Excuse my language, y'all. Is that racism is still running rampant. But now racists has focused more on your real estate ownership, on your property. They decided we no longer want African American people to own real estate because they're making too much money. They know that. See, they trick you and tell you to go enroll in college, and then you think the college was what made you successful. College degree was not what made you successful. You forget you got all them student loans. You forget you paying a high car note and all of that. You forget you got all them credit cards. So therefore, you ain't really making the money you think you have, and you got 2, 3 children. So it pulls down what you really making, but where people made money, where the baby boomers making money at is their real estate purchases. Back in the 80s, the 70s, parents wasn't renting houses in LA. They had to buy houses. They said yesterday, LA has the largest concentration of houses in America. Black folks in America, they got more Black homeowners in LA than they have anywhere else, pretty much. There are more houses in California than almost any other state, they saying, where they got homeowners. So that's why they want this area. So anyway, what was my point? I'm trying to get back to my thought. There are a lot of affordable areas all around the country, y'all, but you got to get out of that whole rental mindset. You got to get into home ownership. So because of gentrification, because of the racists have realized that real estate is skyrocketing because we got this new thing called the internet, and people are staying home, having home-based businesses, and they're making more money working from home. So now the government and all the big whales have decided, the Wall Street tycoons have decided, well, since we got all these home-based people who are staying in these houses and renting big houses or buying bigger houses, and they, you know what I'm saying, because they're running their businesses out of them, why don't we just raise the price of real estate up? Then this thing called Airbnb comes out. Now you got people who's willing to pay top dollar to rent a bed. Y'all hear what I just said? I didn't say bedroom. I said rent a bed inside of a bedroom and got someone sleeping in the other bed that they don't even know. People paying $800 a month to rent a bed inside of a house. Y'all hear what I just said? you have all these black women and men starting businesses. Absolutely. And that's a wonderful situation. So strategy on that. Let's change wheels a little bit. You got all these people starting businesses. So therefore, I want to give my business a chance to grow, and I'm not going to make the kind of money that I want the day that I start the business, the first week that I started, or even the first several months. I'm not going to make the kind of money that I want that you can quit your job. You're not going to make 70, 80,000 in the first 3 months off of your home business. But it is possible, y'all. I ain't gonna say it's not possible because anything is possible, y'all. But what I did is I said, I want to work from home. I want to run my business from home, but I can't do that living in LA County. Let me be more specific. I could not run my home-based business from home living in LA County, paying $3,000 a month on a rent or a mortgage. So I said, I want to make more money. I want to be able to, right now I'm only making $1,600 a month off of my business. They making money letting people sleep on the sofa surfing. Yeah, they make a whole lot of money. So what do? A person who is just starting your business and you making some money, you may not be making enough to rent a home in LA County or in Atlanta near the airport, but you can afford to move further out. So if I'm averaging about 1,600 this month, 1,675 next month, 1,850 the following month, and you see your business is growing, then I personally would move further out. I would move to the suburbs, further out, and run my business, my home-based, internet-based business. Y'all hear what I just said? So why would I do that? Because I can afford to buy a house. If you can prove that you're averaging $1,600 a month, you say, oh, I got my job making $3,500, and then I got my internet business making 16. You take that income and you run out and buy a house out in the suburbs. Now you buy a house and your mortgage will be about $1,200 a month. Then you can afford to quit your job, hypothetically speaking, and push harder toward that business and push that business making you 16 to 1,800 up to where you can afford to make 2,500 and 3,500. But now you can live in your house that you bought in the suburbs because the mortgage is much cheaper than it was when you was living in LA. Does that make sense, y'all? So when you pursuing your dreams of being financially free and financially independent, you have to make some sacrifices. So I'll give you my example. Back in the days, I was making a bunch of money in California, in LA County, but I realized I would be able to have a much better lifestyle if I opened up a lowrider shop in Palmdale, California. Why? I could buy a building cheaper, I could rent cheaper, I can buy houses cheaper, everything. And then plus on top of all of that, I had zero competition. There was no lowrider shops in Palmdale, California, in Lancaster, California. So I decided I'm going to move my family up north, an hour and a half away from LA, away from everything that I always wanted. You see what I'm saying? Everything that makes my life easier. You know what I'm saying? Being close to this and close to that, close to my mom, close to my sisters and brothers, whatever. I decided, you know what? To live better, I'm going to move further out. And that way I can pursue my business even more. So when I moved out, I was only making a certain amount of money at my business here in LA. But as soon as I moved to the Antelope Valley, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm making even more money, but my bills went down. So it made it, now I got where I was living uptight here in LA because my bills was right about what I was making. Now that I moved further out, now my bills is way lower and now I'm making a profit. And now I can afford to not have to work so hard on certain things and I can focus on this internet stuff. When I was in LA, I was heavy duty hands-on, but I didn't have time for that internet stuff. But when I moved to Palmdale, I bought a bigger house. You see what I'm saying? I had a lot of space and I had lower bills. My mortgage was cheaper. My rent on one of my shops was cheaper. You see what I'm saying? So now I was making a profit and I could work less. I can run my business less. So I wanted to phase out my low rider brick and mortar and go home to working in my shop. I had vowed to myself that one day I'm gonna come out of my low rider shop and I'm gonna just sell stuff on the internet. What's up, good brother King Eddie in the house? I vowed to myself, I said, one day I'm gonna cut my bills down and push this internet business. And the only thing I want to sell is the things that I made myself. I don't want to sell nothing else nobody else made. I only want to sell things that I make. So I won't have to, I ain't got to worry about getting undercut. I wouldn't have to worry about nobody stop selling me something because I'm making more money than they are or something like that. I want to be able to only sell my own products. So I finally succeeded that. Now I got my own products. I got my book out, Monetizing Gentrification. This is a product. This is one of the products I make. I got my coaching classes. I got my consultations. I got my training. I got TJ's Toolbox. I got other books coming. I got speaking. These are all my products, y'all. So I was able to do that because I scaled back. I decided I don't need the big Mercedes. I don't need a Bentley. I don't need this big mansion. I don't need a Rolex watch anymore. I don't need all these fancy clothes because I want to live better. You see what I'm saying? Appreciate you, Hadrian. Got some money for us, King Eddie, so we can get that car company started, brother? Car company getting started costs a lot of bread, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? So you get some bread, let's talk. Let's make that happen. But man, again, I want to rewind this conversation back to people are in our community spreading rumors, telling Black folks that the real estate market is about to crash. The real estate market is not about to crash in LA, y'all. The real estate market is not about to crash in cities near near high commerce. Downtown Los Angeles and 15, 20 miles away from it, you ain't gonna have no house crashing problems. Downtown in Atlanta, Georgia, downtown Atlanta, downtown DC, downtown Dallas, Texas, anywhere where the jobs are, you ain't gonna worry about no market crashing to the point that you're gonna lose a lot of money like you did in 07. Why did people lose money in 06 and 07? Because they had no support with jobs. When those houses in 06 and 07, when that market crashed and those houses, everybody lost money and walked away from those houses, it wasn't the market crashing, it was the loans people had that adjusted. People had those adjustable rate mortgages. What does that mean? They had a house, a mortgage, a bogus mortgage in the first place, which I told people, do not take those bad loans. And people looking at me crazy, like my sister just bought this big giant house with that adjustable rate mortgage and she living comfortable. I want a house like hers. I said, but that ain't gonna last, trust me. And they looking at me like, I don't care, I still want that big house. But what did they do? They bought that house. They said, oh, your mortgage is going to be $1,000 a month. The people got excited. I can get that 4,000 square foot house like my sister got, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you can with this adjustable rate mortgage. Oh, your mortgage is only $1,000 a month. They say, where do I sign? They got it. All of a sudden, they didn't read them guidelines. It said in there that in 4 years, the mortgage is going to go from 1,000 to 6,000. They didn't read the fine print and see that. They didn't read the fine print. So all of a sudden, it went from 1,000 to 6,000. All of them did that at the same year. It was in the several years of each other. And that's why I knew the housing market is about to crash, because you're going to have a large amount of people who are losing their houses because of the adjustable rate mortgages. That's what made the market crash. It was the adjustable rate mortgages. It was not about the amount of houses people built, like old girl said on the radio show last night. It was about adjustable rate mortgages were set to come due in 2006 or 7. I'm looking at the contracts that people were showing me with these adjustable rate mortgages, and somewhere on page 15 on that thick contract they give you, it said, when you flipping through it, it said in 2000, it said 3 or 4 years from now, this mortgage on this house, which is $1,000 currently, is going to jump up to 6,000, and that will be in 2006 and 7. And some people said 8. And I already knew, I said in 3 years, the market's going to crash. So I'm on bail. They said, why is it going to crash, TJ? I said, because you're going to have a lot of people walking away from their houses because they're not going to be able to afford them because they got adjustable rate mortgages. That is what made the market crash. The market really didn't crash. It was too many houses on the market that people were losing. That's what made it was too much inventory. So that's what made the prices drop because there was too many vacant homes because people were losing their homes. And if you knew real estate like I do, which I put the game in the book to kind of help us out more, we would have known. I'm looking at these contracts and I see, oh, in 2006, your mortgage is going from $1,000 to $6,000. Your ass can't afford to pay $3,000 because you only make 33. So you gonna walk away from this house. Already know it. But some people knew, well, I just wanted the right to say I lived there. I just wanted to be able to say I had a big home and I enjoyed myself. I just wanted to be able my family and friends to say that he had a big ass house. That's what people really was. So for 3 years, you comfortable with that, knowing you gonna be moving again in 3 years? They was like, yeah, I just want to say I had it. That's the kind of stuff we was dealing with. Bad loans and the miseducation of economics. Absolutely. That's why I'm teaching this, y'all. That's why I speak everywhere. Y'all like, you be everywhere. You be out there. Yeah, because I am the expert in real estate. You may think it's such and such. You may think it's these people because they got 1 million followers and all of that. No, they ain't the experts. These are just people who making money off of stuff, telling you stuff that you can pull up on the internet. They can't read the market. You got to know how to read the market. You can't come in there and say, oh, I teach you the game, sign up for my course. Give me some nuggets, give me some bones. You know what I'm saying? Why am everybody asking me, is the market going to crash? You know what I'm saying? The market is not going to crash in suburban areas near the downtown area. So let me tell y'all how this game works, y'all. Again, you got to get this book so you can get all the details and understand how stuff is going. Monetizing Gentrification is not on Amazon. It's only on Black bookstores all around the country, or my website, thomastjlofton.com. Monetizing Gentrification, Building Black Ownership, family. I put this game in these books to better educate my people so that they can understand. So anyway, what is my point? What is my point here? If you live in the big cities near downtown LA, 20 miles, 30 miles away from downtown LA, 20, 30 miles away from downtown Atlanta, downtown DC, downtown Texas, Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, any major city, the real estate market is not going to crash. If you see high-rise buildings going up, if you see major corporations moving in those areas, that tells you right there, the real estate market is not going to crash. If you see people pushing their building outside of those counties, down, like for example, I'm in LA County. If you go outside of LA County and you see large amounts of construction, those areas may have some problems, but the real estate ain't gonna crash. So let me talk about what a crash may look like in 2019. Let's talk about a new market crash and what it would look like. Right now, the average home price should be $300,000, but in LA, they 600,000, 650, right? So what's fixing to happen? In the next couple years, LA, we got the Rams Stadium, the Clippers Stadium, all these stadiums going up in LA. We got the Olympics coming here. We got all this stuff. We got expected 10 million people to move here. So what's going to happen? Those areas is going to skyrocket in ways you ain't never seen before. You go to Atlanta, Georgia, the Mercedes-Benz Dome and Founders Stadium and all those places like that. You go to DC and you see all those high-rise buildings going up in those downtown areas and people moving in. Those areas are not going to crash. Why is that? Because those are the areas where the major corporations are moving to. During the 2006 and 2007, we didn't have no major corporations in LA at that time. Y'all hear what I just said? In 2006 and 2007, you didn't hear nothing about Google being over there. You didn't hear nothing about SpaceX and Tesla coming to LA and all these areas. You didn't know that. Well, guess what? They're here now. You didn't know Silicon Beach, Silicon Valley, which is the corporate capital where all these tech capital of the world, Silicon Valley. You didn't know Silicon Valley was relocating to LA. With Silicon Valley relocating to LA, it ain't even possible for the market to crash. Y'all hear what I just said? You got people making $500,000 and up moving to LA. They can afford to buy a house that costs $2 million. Y'all hear what I just said? If you got a whole bunch of people that live here and they can afford to pay $2 million for a house, how's the market gonna crash? The real estate has to catch up to accommodate the people that got the money. These people ain't gonna take bad mortgage loans. These people make $500,000 and up. So therefore, they're looking for houses that cost $2 million because they know they can afford it. Y'all hear what I just said? So now that's gonna push the black people or the brown people or the people. Let me just not go with face, no colors no more. Let's go with Tania. How you doing? Joseph, how you doing, brother? The people who make less than $100,000 are going to be pushed out so far. They're going. Why do you think they're creating all of these trains? In Atlanta, they got MARTA. In LA, they got Metro. And they're building all these trains and they're making them faster. And they're saying they're building out further and people are going to be coming into the big cities by train because the people who are making less than $100,000 that are working at your Targets, your Walmarts, and all of these kind of places, they cannot afford to live nowhere in these areas around these corporations. So therefore, they're going to be forced to start taking the train to work. Y'all hear what I just said? That's what's happening. TJ, are people really going to be able to maintain those lifestyles? So you have downsizing of these companies. So how does that factor in the company? Okay, the companies are not downsizing, they're upgrading. The companies have realized, these corporations, Facebook, Google, what is all these tech companies, people making these video games and all of that stuff like that, Instagram and all these major corporations. These corporations are not scaling back, they're scaling up. What's going on? When you go to Silicon Valley in Northern California, the Palo Alto, California, you'll see you cannot afford to rent a bed in anywhere around there. If you want to rent a bed, if you go to what's it called, Airbnb, and you pull up Palo Alto, California, near Facebook or Google and all those places, and you pull up Airbnb, ain't nothing gonna come up. Ain't nothing gonna come up. And if something do come up, oh, you can rent a bed in a bedroom inside of a house for $2,000 a month, if that. If that lease, it'd probably be more than that, $3,000 a month for a bed. You see what I'm saying? Look it up yourself. So because of that, those corporations are saying our employees make $500,000 a year, but they can't afford to buy these houses because these houses is $5 and $6 million in this area, walking distance from the job. So our high paid employees are moving further out, like 2 hours away or hour and a half to Oakland, California, to Sacramento, or what is it, San Francisco, whatever it is, one of those, to Stockton, California. And then every time they get to work, their employees get to work, they all of a sudden got a phone call and then they got to go home because their child goes to school 2 hours away. So they end up going back home and taking the day off. So these corporations had to get smarter and said, you know what? We're going to move the whole corporation to an area in Southern California where it's more affordable at. So we're going to go down there. We're going to move away from the $6 million houses. Notice I did say $6 million houses, family. 3 million and 6 million is the norm in places like that. These places got $100 million houses. So they're saying the houses around our businesses are too expensive, and we want our employees to live close to the job so they can get there on time and be comfortable. Fast forward the story, they said if we move to LA, we can afford our client, or our employees will be able to buy houses that cost $700,000, $1 million, and everybody will be happy. And by the time the move is completed and our whole corporation is there, which will take us a couple years, then all of a sudden the houses that our employees paid $1 million for will be worth 5 or 6 million, and they'll have equity and everybody will be happier. It's a win-win situation. If I had a job and my boss told me I'm over here renting an apartment at $5,000 a month, and my boss told me if you go with us, you can buy a house. We'll pay you the same amount of money. We'll pay your moving fees and all of that stuff, and you'll be able to buy a house, 3,000 square feet on the beach, and you'll be paying $3,500 a month for your mortgage, and you'll only pay $1 million for it. Maybe $5,000-6,000 a month. You only pay $1 million for it. But in a couple of years, once the move is completed, it's going to bring in a lot of change. You're going to have a lot of corporations following us. Mercedes-Benz is going to want to open up a dealership in our neighborhood. Bentley's going to want to open up a dealership. Rolls-Royce, Louis Vuitton, all these corporations are going to want to move near us. And that's going to push the prices of your home values up. So therefore, your house that you paid $1 million will probably end up being worth $4 or $5 million in a couple of years once all the development has completed. Those areas they will never be the same again. Y'all hear what I just said? So when I go to DC, in this book, when I wrote this book, don't think I'm just trying to plug my book because I want to make some sales. I wrote this book because I want y'all to understand, and y'all don't have to call me and ask me questions all the time. Y'all can just read the book and see the pictures and get an understanding and think, well, maybe I need to travel out there to Atlanta and look at this stuff TJ's talking about. Okay, it says here on page whatever, TJ was in DC. Let me go to DC and see what he was talking about. Is it true? So you look through this book and you say, oh, it says he was in Maryland on here. Oh, I didn't know there was a Oxon Hill, Maryland. They just changed the name to whatever, National Harbor. I didn't know that. Let me go out there and take a peek next time I'm in DC. That's not that far. I heard of National Harbor. I heard of Oxon Hill, Maryland. TJ put this Mercedes-Benz Dome. Let me go right around in those areas and look and see what he's talking about. TJ said there's shopping centers, brand new buildings, and there's buildings in Atlanta. TJ said Tyler Perry put a studio in Atlanta. Let me ride out there and look at that. Look, TJ said this was going on in Philly. Let me ride out there and see what's going on, because he already put it in his book explaining to us what's going on. So this is why I wrote the book, because I knew most people wasn't going to believe it, because they know they've been programmed. So what happens is, I notice a lot of people. What's going on, Studio Steph? I see you up there. YouTube. Have y'all subscribed to my YouTube page yet? Please click subscribe YouTube on my page. Please share my videos and everything. So anyway, family, I will be at Juicy Juice, having a book signing and Q&A. You'll be able to get my book, Monetizing Gentrification. And I also, matter of fact, let me write that on here. And I also will be on Sunday, the 19th, which is tomorrow, actually. I will be at Karash Unity Center. You can go on Eventbrite and register for free. I realized what's going on, family, and I said, you know what? People are having a real hard time. The society is changing. So let me bring some of our 1%ers, some of our people who really making money into the fold, and let you hear what they talking about, hear what they doing. So I know y'all always hear me talking a good one, but you need to hear it out of other people's mouths. So some of my friends who agreed to talk to me, to talk to y'all, they're going to let me pick their brain tomorrow in front of y'all. I'm bringing them out to the event. So I got Leo Sullivan. Leo Sullivan was he's an older brother. He's the one who did the animation for Fat Albert and the Gang back in the days. He also did that Train for Soul Train that y'all see that we all grew up on. Queen Amina, she also owns several stores. She's opened her 3rd clothing store in Las Vegas. These are whales in the community. These are the people that you don't never get to talk to unless you know them in person or been to their stores. But see, these are my personal friends, and I know their personal business. Sean Compton, what's going on, family? I see you. What is the problem? This is capitalism. See, we can sit back and complain about what it is, or we can figure out how we're going to move forward. We can complain about the gas prices being almost $5 a gallon, or we can sit back and figure out how we can afford to buy the gas, because it's going to take a lot longer to stop them, make them drop the prices of the gas. I'm not going to pray what the people say. I'm going to pray the gas prices go down. I'm not. If I'm gonna have to pray, I'm gonna pray that my money go up, so I don't care about gas. That's what you want to know. I don't care about the gas price. I'm gonna pray that I make more money so that I don't care about gas prices. I don't care about how expensive the houses are, because that don't affect me. Y'all hear what I just said? So that's what you need to pray for. We got to quit complaining about what's happening. Capitalism is running rampant and we can't stop them. But one thing we do got to know is you better make some more money. I'm not complaining. It sounds like you were complaining about gentrification. No, I'm not complaining about gentrification. I wrote a book about gentrification to better educate us about gentrification. It's called Monetizing Gentrification. Monetizing means let's use this gentrification because of all the money that they're putting out there, and let's monetize it. We're going to monetize the gentrification and make money off of it. Period. Okay, now my battery is about to go dead. Let me see here. Excuse me 1 second, Instagram. Before this battery go dead. All right, my phone said plug it in. Give me 1 second, and I'm about to have to get out of here soon. What am I looking for? Okay. Visa Swing. What's going on? Kalisha. Oh, no worries, Queen. That's what we're here. We're here to talk about it. So again, today I'll be at Juicy Juice in Carson, California, doing a book signing for my new book, Monetizing Gentrification, family. So, and tomorrow I'll be at Crash Unity doing a panel discussion. I got some of our 1%ers, some of our people who are doing very good, who are not complaining about gentrification, who are not complaining about high prices, who are not complaining about gas prices, who are not complaining about high food. They just buy whatever it costs. It don't matter if it's $10 a gallon. People who are making good money are gonna buy gas. They're gonna always have gas. They're gonna always have nice homes and stuff like that because they knowing how to make money. So I'll be there talking about that, and I'll be telling us solutions how we can monetize the gentrification. So why did I choose the name Monetizing Gentrification? Because gentrification means redevelopment. Gentrification and redevelopment is the same thing. People who don't own real estate or who are renting call it gentrification. People who own real estate and got some money and own homes, they call it redevelopment. So what is going on during redevelopment? The government frees out a lot of money saying, oh, y'all gonna build some houses over here in this zip code, cool. We're going to open the door for y'all to do that. We're going to create these things called opportunity zones. We're going to create the tariffs to make these corporations move. We're going to make it a real estate investor's heaven right now, and that's what they're doing. So I said, let me write a book teaching people what does a real estate investment look like, because times are changing and people need to know what a real investment looks like. It's no longer about buy a house and rent it out, to one family. It's about buying a house and renting out bedrooms and beds to people. It's no longer about my first home. It's like, okay, well, why not buy your first apartment building? Things have changed, family. So I wrote this book to bring us into the change and talk about how we can use this as a springboard to jump off and make a lot of money, become wealthier in times than we've ever seen before in our lives, because we live in historical times right now. So we in a great opportunity to make a lot of money. This is why you see me doing interviews all the time. This is why you see me traveling the country, speaking at all these events all the time. This is why you see me always on Facebook doing my Facebook Lives, because I know what's coming and other people starting to see it too. Unfortunately, people tend to want to go with the masses. The masses say the market's going to crash. People want to go with the masses and don't even think about real estate. They think I'm going to wait till the market crash before I buy. Ain't going to happen, family. I know I'm probably one of the only people saying that, but trust me. I bought the book, did the research. I did the research, wrote the book. I traveled the country. I know what's going on. There is nobody else that's in real estate that can tell you the same, that can tell you what I know. They can't tell you what I know because they ain't did that kind of research. But anyway, Instagram, y'all about to go out, so I guess I'm going to tune out here. Come on out to the book signing. I'll see y'all there. Oh, dang, it went off early. ThomasTJLofton.com. I'll be at the book signing from, I'll probably be up there about 2 o'clock. But my signing is from 4 to 6. But I will be there, sitting there, playing chess, chopping it up, talking business with people about the real estate market. So we're going to be debunking stuff. We're going to be flipping through the pages of this book, and we're going to break it down. We ain't going to be guessing no more. We ain't going to be speculating. I'm going to be showing y'all the proof. Turn to page 63. Turn to page 75. Turn to page 12. Turn to page 28. Read that, and then let's revisit this conversation in 5 minutes, okay? I'll be over there with the rest of the people who listening versus trying to debate me. You see what I'm saying? So come on out. And then tomorrow again, the 19th, I'll be at Crash Unity having a panel discussion. We're going to talk about gentrification. We're going to talk about solutions and moving forward. Then I'll be in Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana, May 25th at the Community Bookstore. Community Book Center in New Orleans, Louisiana, giving a presentation a presentation and book signing Q&A. We're going to talk about what's going on in Louisiana. See, I have a national conversation, y'all. I don't just know what's about LA. I know all about America because I travel so much. Then I'll be leaving Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana. I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia on the 6th. I'll probably be sitting on the front steps of Tassili having a Q&A selling my books. Then I'll be doing a book signing at the Shrine of the Black Madonna on the 7th, June 7th. And then on the 8th, I'll be speaking at an event on my Facebook page, Green, I forget the name of it, but it's an event coming up June 8th. And then June 9th, I'll be speaking at Tassili's Raw Reality, giving a full-blown presentation, which is more detailed than the book. That's going to cost $25 if you pre-register today, but it'll be $30 at the door. I'm going to give you a full-blown presentation with slides and everything. I'm going to show you the things that's going to make you say, wow, I did not know that. I had no idea in a million years that they would do that, because I got all the video footage. I got the pictures to prove to you the market ain't fixing to crash. And if it crash, it ain't going to be like you think it is. The market going to jump up to $2 million and it's going to crash and it's going to go down to 1.8. Y'all hear what I just said? So we'll look at, but remember, it started off at 100. But anyway, family, so come on out and support. When you come on out to Juicy Juice tomorrow or today, buy a smoothie, buy a drink, buy the book, and let's sit down and let's talk about it. If you're not in California and you like to make a donation to support the cause, you can go to my Cash App, #Thomas TJ Lofton. Thomas TJ Lofton, LOFTIN. Or you can go to my Eventbrite page, Thomas TJ Lofton, and go to the one of my events and purchase a couple of tickets for somebody and put donation so that someone could sponsor, so you can sponsor someone else's seat. All right, family, I'm about to get on out of here. I appreciate y'all time for listening in. Please share these videos, family. Please take the time out to share this video. Thank you.